Okay, so it just cut off. But he was like, have you been telling them about my word? Have you been telling people, have you been spreading the gospel? Have you been letting people know? I said, yeah, you see what's going on? I said, yeah, you see the posters, you see the billboards and stuff. Like, we've been telling people, we have. He's like, okay, that's good. And I was like, yes. And we were just talking about like friendship. I couldn't remember everything, but he was saying how I think he was talking about how he was proud of me. And I think he said, okay, I'll see you after. He said, don't worry, I'll see you after. I said, okay. And he walked away, and I felt just like, man, I wish I could continue to talk to you, but I will see you later. And you guys, when I tell you, I was just like in love with this man, not in a sexual way, but I looked at him and he was so charming. And when he was smiling, I just imagined a glare of white just cling, like, you know, like when you see someone smile, it goes like cling, like that's what it felt like. And his eyes were just glaring, and I saw like a gleam in his eye, and it was just, he was just so beautiful. His presence, everything about him was just so beautiful. And it's nothing you can't describe. You can't describe this feeling. I feel like if I can explain it to you guys, you wouldn't still yet understand. Though his presence was just humble and warm and just relief. Just talking to him, there was no anger, there was nothing. It was just love, caringness, care. It was like protection, like an I got you, like it's going to be okay. Like when he was in my presence, it just felt, I wanted to see Jesus again. I want to spend the rest of my life with him. Like I really wanted to just braid his hair, like I would wash his feet. That's what it felt like. And I would do that. I don't even like feet, but I'll wash Jesus's feet. I will. You know, and it kind of reminded me about the scene where the lady poured a whole bunch of perfume over him because of how much she respected him and how much she worshiped Jesus. That was her worship towards him, you know. And it reminded me about that. Like, and I didn't hug him in the dream, but man, if I knew it was Jesus in my dream, best believe I would have hugged him. But it was my friend, and it's like I've seen my friend before, and I was like, oh, I've seen my friend before, it's just my friend. But his presence was just so, like, I didn't even realize it in my dream, but I like just knew. I just knew. I didn't even have to say this was Jesus. Like, I recognized him for who he was, and I didn't have to hug him because I knew I was going to see him again, and I knew I was going to be around him forever. That's what it felt like. Man, yo, I don't want to tear up, but I have this weird sense of feeling like it was just so beautiful. And then as soon as he walked away, he went back into this huge crowd of people, and he disappeared into this huge crowd of people, but I could sense that his presence was still there. And next thing you know, the scenery changed, and I was by the cafeteria, but my body was faced away from the cafeteria, speaking to him. As soon as he left and my friend, it then changed really quickly into this really evil, satanic, disgusting scene, right? The Antichrist was in the back of the cafeteria where you opened up the door. He walked out with his group of people. It was like 4 or 5 people, I would say 3, 4, or 5 people, I guess. Like a hand group of people following him. And excuse me, somebody, it was a really tall black person. He didn't look like Shaquille O'Neal, you know, he didn't look like Shaq, but he had his height. And Antichrist was looking at him, y'all. Antichrist took his neck, pulled him up, and slammed him to the ground. And the Antichrist was at a normal height, okay? He was tall, but he was not as tall as Shaq, or not Shaq, but he had his height as the man, right? Then he walked around, you know, cocky, prideful, like, yeah, I'm gonna get somebody else, like, yeah. He walked around like, you, come here. Took his neck, bam. Okay, NBA Youngboy was a part of his group. He looked at NBA Youngboy and he asked him a question. NBA Youngboy was like, looking at him like, okay, I'm gonna answer this question, and hopefully if I answer this question, he will let me go, type of thing. The Antichrist said, nope. Took him and said, bop. Like, if some of y'all have seen Marvel. Some of y'all seen Marvel? You know the scene where Hulk took Loki and said, I'll put the link in the I'll put the link in the description so you guys can click on it and see what I'm talking about, because that's exactly what it looked like, but worse. Loki was just laying there, but NBA Youngboy, his back was bent like a rectangle backwards, and his arms and legs were just stretched out, and his eyes were closed, and he was just laying there, his tap, and he was just laying there. He looked dead, you guys, but he was not dead. He was alive, and there was no blood, no nothing. His whole body was just, it was bent in such a way, it was so abnormal, abnormal. It was not normal at all. When I tell you guys I cried because nobody should have to go through that pain. Nobody should have to go through that pain. And me, Youngboy, was crying out for help. His heart, you could see, not his heart, you could see this tiny bit of light shining through, just white gleam of light shining through his chest. And God was like, you see that light? See, he has hope. He has some type of faith that he can still get saved. He doesn't know who to go to, though. The light that he has, he's trying to come to me, but he doesn't know how to come to me. He doesn't think I will accept him. He's trying to get out. He's stuck. But he's not stuck, because all he has to do is call out to God's help, and God will swoop him up like that. He thinks that he cannot be saved. He thinks that the enemy, he thinks sorry y'all, let me turn my notifications off. He thinks if he continues to listen to the enemy, that the enemy will let him go. But no, the enemy said, he keeps tricking him. He took him again. Y'all, I just kept seeing him, the enemy, take NBA Youngboy by the neck and throw him back and forth like that with so much force. He literally chucked NBA Youngboy across the room, across the hallway, boom, down the hall, and he landed like boom, so much force. Like, can you just imagine the same hurt that you would feel getting slammed onto the ground, your body getting slammed onto the ground is what he felt. And he didn't die. He didn't die. Then the Antichrist, oh, okay, so in this dream, God kept showing me like different parts and different scenes at the same time, like a movie type of thing. Like he showed me different views, where he showed me where I was. You know how I was talking to Jesus, and next thing you know, boom, the Antichrist. I was hiding under a lunch table, and somebody was behind me, and this lukewarm was in front of me. I didn't know he was lukewarm, but when I woke up, then he explained to me the colors on his shirt, because he had green and blue, and it was mixed. It was mostly green, but it was some blue in there, but it was mostly green. And so as the Antichrist was back there, he showed me sitting under the table, like shivering, like I was so scared that I was like shaking with fear. And I was looking at him, and I saw him walking around, and it was getting closer, and he came by me. He was like right here, like right here. He was so close. He bent down and picked the lukewarm up that was right next to me. I looked at him, he looked at me, and then he looked at the Antichrist, and he was like, "Huh, you're not gonna do anything to me, right?" Bruh. He asked him a question. Did he ask him a question? I don't think so. I feel like he did ask him a question, but I don't think he did. I think he did, but I don't remember if he did. He looked at him, and he said, "You're not gonna do anything to me, right?" The Antichrist took him and chucked him again. Chucked him, and he landed right next to NBA Youngboy, except this man landed on his neck like this, on the floor, like, and he looked dead, but he was not dead. And as soon as that happened, yo, like when I told you the Antichrist came by me, I was so scared because I thought he was gonna pick me. He didn't even know that I was there. I was like invisible. I was sitting there like, he knew I was there, but he knew he couldn't do anything, but he was still there, and he couldn't touch me. And when I tell you I saw my light dimming, God showed me my light. It was huge, but it was slowly shrinking and dimming. But I was calling out to Jesus for help. because I could sense the antichrist near. This was before he walked in, okay? I'm trying to explain everything to you in different parts. I know it sounds confusing, but that's how he showed me, and everything made sense in the dream. I was under the lunch table, this red lunch table, and the cream white seats. I was under it, hiding. I was shivering, and I was like, Jesus, I'm not scared. I don't have fear. Jesus, people of God, Jesus does not have fear. The Spirit of God does not have fear. I don't have fear. And I was trying to have Jesus in my heart, but I couldn't. Like, my light was still there, but I couldn't have Jesus in my heart. I was trying so hard, but it was like squishing the light out of me. Something was squishing the light out of me. And I was getting scared because I could still feel the fear. And God says you need to feel this fear because you need to understand what lukewarms and unbelievers will have to go through. You need to know and remember this feeling every time you get frustrated with these people or with the trolls, because they don't know any better. Teach them my word. Spread the word. Teach them my spirit. That's what he was telling me. And as soon as he picked up the lukewarm and threw him across the room, across the hallway, Jesus came. Jesus came. Now, you guys, the mark of the beast was not talked about at all in my dream. I didn't see anybody with the mark on their forehead or anybody with the mark on their wrist. I didn't see none of that. I guess that was not the point of the dream. Jesus came, and the group of people. Okay, so just so you guys know, the setup was like this, right? The people on my left side, on this side, they were all believers. Everybody was over there still talking about the rapture, saying get ready, yada yada yada. Still a group of people. It was still a lot of stuff going down that hallway. It was like light. The light was on, and everybody was still in the hallway, still preaching the word. But in the cafeteria on that side, there was a person. The believers were looking at what was going on with the Antichrist. None of them were touched. The enemy didn't even go over there. He focused on the lukewarms and the unbelievers. And the unbelievers and the lukewarms were over there, and the believers were on the other side. Now, when I tell you, the people who were on that stuff, still spreading the gospel, talking about the rapture and stuff, when Jesus came back, he pierced through the crowd again. It was like he was just walking through, stood there, looked at me, and said, and then the bell rung, the school bell rung. Next thing you know, everybody's rushing towards him, rushing towards the light. They're all rushing towards him. So he didn't come to the cafeteria. He was down the hallway with everybody else, still spreading the gospel and the news. He was with the believers still. He didn't come to the cafeteria. He stood there, rung the bell, the school bell, and said, looked at me, and I already knew what that meant. I already knew it was go time. I got up and I ran so fast. Although the believers on that side, they ran so fast. Just so you guys know, that side had light and the other side was dark, dim, no light at all. It was just murky and just disgusting. And I ran up so fast to Jesus, man, oh man, I think I hugged him or something. I don't know if I hugged him, but I ran so fast. And what was I gonna say? The people on the unbelievers and the lukewarm side did not run. They stood there like they were stuck. Like they didn't even know what was going on. They were just like, what? Like they knew what was going on, but they didn't know, type of thing. And the Antichrist picked up an orange guy in the shirt. I looked back and he said, oh, it's okay, I'll get the rest of them. I said, bruh, I ran so fast to Jesus. I ran so fast. And it was like a big light just. And then I woke up from my dream. I feel like I'm forgetting something. But that dream itself was so draining. I woke up, I was so excited, but explaining the dream is very draining. It was so sad. It was so sad. I just didn't know what to do. please, you guys, pray for NBA Youngboy. Pray for the, like, I know it sounds like, why would we pray for them? But what makes us any worse than them? Like, I know some people say that, oh, I'm not a sinner. We all struggle with stuff, and some of us are deep, and to the point where some people don't think they could still be saved. And like, it doesn't matter, everybody can still be saved. God is in full control of everything. So yes, pray for these celebrities. Pray for NBA Youngboy, because he's trying to find a way out. Your prayers do work. Prayers work. Prayers is your the word of God is your weapon, okay? Use it. But yeah, it was a school. A school symbolized children, I believe. And the bell ringing, I believe, represents the trumpet. And I don't know which trumpet it was, but it represented a trumpet. And Jesus did not go to the cafeteria. Now I'm assuming the cafeteria was earth. And God, he switched me back and forth. So at one point I was myself, and at one point I was myself as a lukewarm. And he just wanted me to feel the fear that there will be feeling when Antichrist comes. This is what people are going to feel when the Antichrist comes and tries to take these people. And the believers were still there. And the Antichrist couldn't even touch them. And then Jesus came out of nowhere. Didn't come into the cafeteria, but stood there, looked at me, and I knew it was go time. And I ran. Now, the beginning of the scene where I was outside and it was black, dark. I don't know if it was nighttime or daytime. He did not tell me. But it didn't feel like it was nighttime. It was just dark. Okay, I saw stars too. The UFOs came down. And I knew it was go time. But the school got bombed. And I still ran into the school. And the school was not bombed when I ran into it. I think that was just one scene that he showed me. That was just one scene that he showed me. A scene of UFOs and pedestrians running when they saw them. But the believers knew what was going on. And they ran to God. The believers ran to the school, which I believe was supposed to represent the believers, or where they were running to God, I guess. Like, they were preparing. Like, they ran to the school. I guess that was like their preparation. Because, you know, what is school for? To study, to learn, to get ready, to prepare yourself for the world, right? So we ran to the school because that's where we knew, like, okay, it's go time. Let's go prepare. Let's go get ready. Let's go get ready to go home, type of thing. And then boom, he switched the scene, and I'm inside the school, and it's not bombed yet. And Jesus was speaking to me like it was spiritual, but it wasn't spiritual. It was like physical. And then he walked away to the hallway with the whole crowded group of other people. It disappeared in the crowd, but he was still there. And throughout that whole thing, even when I was under the lunch table, I could sense his eyes piercing through the crowd looking at me. And it felt really good. But at the same time, I was still in fear. So the whole time, he was staring back at me and I was staring at him. I think even at one point we had a staring contest. I don't know where part in that dream, but we were staring at each other just like this. And he was staring at me and I was staring at him. And it was just beautiful because it was like I got you. Look at me. Don't look around at anything else, but look at me. Type of thing. It was amazing. That dream, I met Jesus. I met the Antichrist, who looked like Obama. I'm not kidding. He looked like a chubby version of Obama. I don't know what that means, but he resembled Obama, but his face and everything looked kind of off. And then he also made me feel the fear of what the unbelievers and the believers are going to go through. And he made me feel the fear of the lukewarms. Lukewarm meaning, if you claim to know God, you claim the title of Jesus Christ, but you still do the ways of the enemy. So you're basically serving two masters. You cannot serve two masters. You're either with Jesus or you're with the adversary. The adversary meaning the enemy, Satan, Lucifer, the devil. I wanted to make this video again for people so they can all hear all the details that I had in my dream. And you guys can hear everything that I said. I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel so people can see this dream, and the people that wanted to know about the dream, they can watch it. Not just on TikTok, but this video right here itself. So there's a part 1 and a part 2. Man, that dream was very draining. I don't know if you guys can tell, but my energy and everything kind of just like... Alright, I love you guys. Have an amazing day. Have a blessed day. Get prepared. Get ready. Jesus is coming back soon. Prepare your house, which is your body. Not just your house, but also prepare your room. You know, anoint everything in your home. Pray for your family. Pray for everybody. Prayer is what's going to help you. I'm telling you, prayer is a weapon. Okay, word of God is a weapon. Use it. You know, don't forget that this is not a battle between flesh and blood, but between principalities. Whatever happened to the spiritual realm will then happen in the natural realm. So know that whatever is going on right now has already happened in the spiritual realm. So be praying in the spirit. So whatever happens in the spirit can then happen in the natural realm. So whatever is going on, fights between the Palestine and Israel, pray over that so it can have peace. But know that the prophecies in the Bible are now being fulfilled. You can see them now. They're going to start to now be fulfilled because we can see it happening. You know, everything that God said that was going to happen is now happening now. So please do not get distracted. Please pay attention. And if you do get this video, know that this is a sign from God. Not just a sign, but it could be a confirmation. Get it together. Get it together. Because you don't know when Jesus is coming back. He can come back 5 seconds from now. You don't know. He can come back 5 to 10 years from now. We don't know. But get ready and be prepared, because people will have dreams and they will have visions. And God has been giving me dreams and he has been giving me visions. And he reeled me back in because I used to be a lukewarm. He pulled me back in last February. You know, that's a whole nother video. Maybe I'll make a video about it. I don't know. But this dream that God gave me, I needed to share that. So, yeah. God bless you all. Again, I love you so much. Please, God bless you guys, for real. Get prepared. Stock up on food. There's a famine coming. Garden. Do whatever you got to do. You know, free people. Know that God is your provider. Give so God can give unto you. Follow the laws, okay? Remember the Sabbath. Do what you have to do to get closer to God. Do not let anybody distract you from God. And if they do, cut them off. Okay, cut them off. Spread the gospel. Ask God for boldness. Ask God for courage, because Jesus commanded us to have courage, so you must have courage. Okay, don't disobey him. Have obedience. Be obedient to him. And do not allow anybody to get you out of character. Do not allow that. Do not allow the whatever you went through traumatically to stay forever. You know, if you went through something traumatic, ask God to heal you from it, so you don't stay and sulk in it forever, because now you have given the enemy a chance to attack you. Okay, so anybody that is going through anything, give it unto him. Read Psalms 119, read Psalms 91, read Ephesians 6, read Psalms 25, read Psalms 30, Psalms 35, Psalms 40, Psalms 41, Psalms 71. Read Ephesians 6. I know I said that right. Read 1 Corinthians, read 2 Corinthians, read all the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Read Thessalonians, read 1 and 2 Timothy, read the New Testaments, okay? The 1 and 2 Corinthians talks about the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit. It talks about the spiritual gifts. James is also a really good book to read. Just dabble your mind in that knowledge, because it will be too late. I love y'all. God bless you.